3 weeks out and the sky is still too big. I know this is a thing that happens. They told me it would happen. The counselor at the transition office. The guy in the bed next to mine for 2 years who'd done it twice before. My public defender in the last conversation we had. All of them said the same thing in different words. You'll feel exposed. You'll feel like there's too much space. Your brain recalibrates. My brain is recalibrating. I walk with my shoulders slightly in. Not that I'm cold, 'cause the width of the sidewalk doesn't feel right yet. I keep checking the edge in my peripheral vision involuntarily, confirming where the wall is. There's no wall. I check anyway, recalibrating. It's a Thursday in March. The city is wet and loud. It smells like exhaust and the river, and the specific sour smell of Pittsburgh in early spring, when the snow is gone and nothing is growing yet. I know this smell. I grew up 40 minutes east of here. The smell is the right smell. I focus on the smell when the sky gets to be too much. I cross the 40th Street Bridge at 10 in the morning. The Allegheny below is running high. Snow melt from the hills. I stop in the middle of the bridge and look down at it for a moment. 'Cause stopping in the middle of a bridge is something I can do now. I can stand anywhere I want and look at anything I want, and it costs me nothing. I am practicing this. I stop and look at the water. The river is vast and brown, carrying debris, branches, a plastic bin, something I can't identify moving with the current. It is loud. From this height, I can feel the vibration of it through the bridge deck, through my feet. A low continuous tremor that my body feels is not threatening. And then I keep walking. Marcus lives on the other side of the bridge, in Lawrenceville, an apartment on the 3rd floor of a building that used to be something industrial. He has lived there for 6 years. I know this from his letters. I know the floor plan from his descriptions. I know his neighbors' names, and the problem with the radiator in the back bedroom, and the view from the kitchen window which faces south toward the river. I know his apartment better than any place I'd been in years, and I haven't been inside it yet. He buzzes me in, without asking who it is. He knew I was coming. He has known for 3 weeks, since the first call I made when I got out, standing outside the processing facility with a plastic bag containing my phone, my wallet, and $37 and some change, and the specific weight of a man who has been found not guilty of something he didn't do, which is not the same weight as being found not guilty of something you did do, and is not the same weight as being found guilty of anything. It is its own weight, and I'm carrying it. He opens the door and hugs me, and I let him, and it's fine. I stay 4 hours. We talk about things that are not the conviction and not the years. We talk about his job, which involves something with databases that I don't entirely follow. We talk about the neighborhood, which has changed. New restaurants, a coffee place on Butler Street that he takes me to in the afternoon. Sitting by the window watching the street. We talk about people we knew. Some of them are gone. In the normal ways people go, moved, drifted, got lives that don't leave room. One of them died 2 years ago, a stroke, 41 years old. And Marcus tells me this carefully, watching my face, checking how much I can take. I can take a lot. I've been taking a lot for years. The coffee is good. The street outside the window is full of people doing Thursday things. A woman with a stroller, 2 men arguing pleasantly about something, a delivery driver moving fast with a bag. The whole ordinary machinery of a city afternoon, and I watch it and practice not feeling the wall that isn't there. At 4, I say I should get going. Marcus wants me to stay for dinner. I say, next time. He walks me to the door and gives me a key, his spare, and says, "Use it whenever." I'd take the key. I'd put it in my pocket. I say goodbye and go down the stairs and out onto the street. The pressure change happens on the walk back to the bridge. I notice it first in my ears, a muffled quality, like the moment before a plane's cabin pressurizes. Except there's no plane, no explanation. My sinuses feel it next, then my chest, a low-level register, my body logging something as large nearby, something with mass. I check the sky, clear, wind from the west. I check the street, normal. I check myself, my heart is beating at a normal rate, my breathing is normal. My body is recalibrating, the counselor said. I'm 3 weeks out. Strange sensations are expected. I file it. I keep walking toward the bridge. The smell reaches me 2 blocks from the riverbank. I stop. It's not a smell I have a word for. Not industrial, not chemical, not any compound with a name I can put to it. Something alive. Enormous. Alive in a way that doesn't map onto any living thing I have a reference for. Biological and completely wrong in its biology. A smell with no name because there's never been a reason to name it. I look toward the river, toward the bridge. The Allegheny doesn't smell like the Allegheny from here. It smells like the thing I can't name. The river, which I crossed an hour ago, which smelled like snowmelt, debris and the mineral cold of mountain water. Now, smells like this. I stand on the sidewalk with the smell in my lungs and the pressure in my chest, and I try to identify what has changed. The vehicles are on the bridge before I reach it. I see them from half a block away. White and gray, large. What is happening is the kind of vehicles that belong to institutions. Federal plates. Men in hazmat suits moving with the efficiency of people who have done this before, or who have trained for it for years and are now doing it for the first time. Both ends of the bridge simultaneously. The speed of the deployment means it was staged. The staging means there was a trigger. The trigger has already happened. I stop walking. I am half a block from the 40th Street Bridge, and there are hazmat vehicles at both ends, and men in suits who are not looking at me, because they are looking south, toward the Strip District, toward the old industrial waterfront I walked past 20 times in 3 weeks, without noticing anything, except the smell of the concrete plant and the sound of the highway. I look south. The facility is there. It has always been there. A low building between the concrete plant and a parking structure. Nothing out of the ordinary. The kind of building that is designed to not be looked at. I have not looked at it. It has the same non-presence as a utility box or a drainage cover. Infrastructure that functions by being invisible. Something has happened at the facility. I understand this the way I have learned to understand things in the last 3 weeks, which is directly and without wasting time on what it might mean. What it means can wait. I am on the wrong side of a perimeter that is closing. The bridge is controlled. The vehicles are at both ends. The perimeter follows the river on the north side, which is the natural boundary, and I am south of the river, which is inside the perimeter, and the perimeter is closing. I calculate the other crossings. The 31st Street Bridge is further east but also along the river. It will be controlled. The 16th Street Bridge is further still. Same. The tunnels under the hill go west, away from where I need to be, and will have their own controls. The river itself is cold and fast, and I am not swimming it. I turn around and walk back into the Strip District. The federal agent finds me within 4 minutes. He is younger than I expected, early 30s, the manner of someone who has practiced authority without having had much occasion to use it. He stops me on Penn Avenue. and I stop without being told to, hands visible. The automatic compliance of a man who knows exactly how this interaction goes wrong. He asks my name. I give it. He asks for ID. I give it. The ID is new, issued 3 weeks ago. My old face on a document that feels provisional, like the document itself is still deciding whether I'm a real person. He looks at the ID. He looks at me. I watch the calculation happen. He is calculating quickly because they trained him to calculate quickly. And what he is calculating is recently released, no fixed address yet, inside the perimeter at the time of the event, alone. No obvious reason to be in this specific area on a Thursday afternoon. The calculation produces a result I know. I have been the result of that calculation before. I tell him I was visiting a friend. I give Marcus's address. I give Marcus's name and phone number. I give him the coffee shop on Butler Street, the name of the woman at the counter. What I ordered. An Americano. $4.15. I have the receipt in my pocket. I give him everything, laid out, clear, because I have learned that clarity is not enough, but it is the minimum. He writes it down. He gives me back my ID. He directs me to a staging area 2 blocks east, a parking lot behind a restaurant, where civilians are being processed. I walk to the staging area. There are 40 people in the parking lot, confused mostly. A few on phones, no signal, most of them but trying. A woman is crying quietly, in a way that means she has been crying for a while, and has moved past the active part into the maintenance phase. 2 men are talking loudly about what they think is happening. Gas leak, one of them says. The other one says he heard explosion. Nobody knows. I know the shape of not knowing. I stand at the edge of the parking lot. I watch and I wait. From here I can see Penn Avenue and the block beyond it. I can see the facility building, its roof, the ordinary gray industrial roofline of a building that has no reason to be looked at. I look at it now. The pressure is stronger here, directional. It is coming from that building and from the ground beneath that building, and from somewhere below the ground. A depth that has no floor I can calculate. My ears registered at first, then my sinuses, then my chest, and now my sternum. The boat itself conducting the low frequency of something enormous in proximity. The smell is stronger here too. Whatever's in the air, the biological rawness, the thing with no name. It is concentrated in the direction of the facility. The wind is from the west and carrying it east, and I am east of the facility, and I am breathing it. I look at Penn Avenue. I know Penn Avenue. I walked it this morning coming from the bridge. 4 lanes, the old brick buildings on either side, a diner, a tire place, and a print shop. The rhythms of a street that has been a street for 100 years and knows what it is. The street is the same. I can see the diner from here, the tire place, the print shop. The signs are the same. The proportions are. I look at it for a long time. Something about the proportions is wrong. Not wrong in a way I can point to. Wrong in the way a room is wrong when you come back to it and something has moved. And you can feel the wrongness before you can see it. And when you look directly at any individual thing, it is correct, but the whole is not. I stand at the edge of the parking lot and look at Penn Avenue, and the wrongness does not resolve. I file it, and I don't stay in the staging area. There are procedures for a man like me in a situation like this, and all of them lead to the same place. And the same place has a holding room, and a flag on my record that says recently released. And the flag will produce questions I can't answer correctly, because there are no correct answers. Only answers that satisfy the person asking, and I have spent years providing answers that don't satisfy anyone. I leave the staging area before anyone notices. I move north on 22nd Street away from the facility toward the residential blocks where the response is thinner. I move the way I have learned to move in spaces where being noticed is a problem. Not fast, not slow, purposeful, belonging somewhere adjacent to here. My shoulders are still in, not because of the sky now, because of the hazmat suits, the federal vehicles, the quality of official attention that I have felt on my back for years and recognized in my body before my mind names it. The pressure follows me north, diminishes with distance but doesn't disappear. At 3 blocks from the facility, it is a low background register, something I could almost convince myself is normal, something I could file under recalibrating and not examine. I don't file it there. I find a diner on the edge of the hot zone, civilian, open. The owner apparently having decided that a federal perimeter 2 blocks away is not sufficient reason to close on a Thursday. I go in, sit at the counter, order coffee and food, and eat it watching the street through the window. The street is Penn Avenue's twin. Same age, same rhythm, same brick. It is correct. I eat watching it, and it stays correct. At the table behind me, 2 women are talking about what they saw. One of them was near the facility when it happened. She describes a sound. Not loud, she says. More like a pressure, like something depressurizing very slowly. And then a smell she cannot name. And then the building looked different. She can't say how, just different. And then the vehicles arrive and she ran. I listen to this and finish my coffee. The woman behind me says, "You know what it smelled like." She says it to her friend, but I hear it. She says it smelled like something that's been in the dark for a very long time, coming out into the air for the first time. I leave money on the counter and go back out into the street. The pressure is still there. The facility is 2 blocks south. The river is 3 blocks north, and I am on the wrong side of it. And the bridges are controlled, and the water is running fast, high, and cold with the spring thaw. And I am a man 3 weeks out of a wrongful conviction, inside a federal perimeter, in Pittsburgh on a Thursday afternoon, in March, with a key in my pocket that opens a door I cannot reach. I put my hand in my pocket and hold the key. Then I start moving,